Hello, welcome to this presentation of WCTV and the Waynesburg University Sports Network. I'm the producer of Jacket Sports Weekly, Joe Veneziale, and I have a very special guest with me today, one of my good friends and a very honorable guest with me. It's number 65, Joel Zellem. Joel, thank you for sitting down for this interview with me today. And first I want to start off, you have a big accolade attached to your name right now. You were named the D3.com, you were named too, the D3.com Team of the Week. What does that mean to you? Coming off of that coming off of that week, what does that mean to you overall?
For one, it just means that what I'm being coached to do is working. That for the first and foremost, and the second thing is there's being recognition on the Waynesburg football program, not only for me, but last week was Dakota Romantino. You have Austin, who has had multiple PAC Rookie of the Weeks. Hunter Cameron that same week won Offensive Player of the Week. So it just goes to show that the things that we are doing are working, and the things that we are doing is putting Waynesburg back on the map and where it needs to be as far as a football program. You
bring up a good point, especially in these last, I would say, recent years, hasn't been on paper the best thing for you guys, but you see this change in direction, as a team and as a whole. What do you see as the main factor on that change? Or is there one main factor, or are there many, but what do you see in that?
Change in leadership. When Coach Coleman came in here in the spring, I think it was in December, he talked about just his expectation and what we need to be doing. And when he walked into the room for the first time, there was a presence just like that about him that was kind of, hey, this is what he demands, and this is what you got to give him, or keep up with the speed of things or get left behind. And when he came in that summer, we also hired Coach Tristan Hoke, who was also a player on this team for a while, so he knows the ins and outs of what you were talking about, how things weren't looking good on paper. But you got to learn how to win. You got to learn how to work off in the summer in order to prepare yourself, because the work you put in the season is great. You get your techniques and your forms, but the work you put in the summer will determine what kind of player you will be in the fall and then into the winter. So those two things, Coleman being there and then the team coming together and really hey, we have to put in the work in order to do this. And I've never seen a team flip a switch and just really everyone buy into what we were doing over that summer.
Absolutely, and more on that later, correlating to that into your individual success. I mean, Joel, you've had a strong tenure here at Waynesburg, starting out, coming out from Riverside, being a Beaver Falls kid. You're moving just generally on to football. Do you think it's always been a passion for you? Was it always football, or what made it fun? As you're saying, in this change of culture, it's been a lot more fun.
Well, at first it was baseball, but I played baseball for 3 years and I hit the ball twice. So I preferred hitting other guys than guys hitting me with baseballs. So I tried to be a baseball player and it didn't work out. And I love football because I was able to deal it out. I played linebacker at first start, and the passion was absolutely always there. It started from just playing my dad in Madden, and when he'd let me win, I'd get excited, and I'm like, this football thing's fun. Instead of on a controller, I want to put on a helmet, and I want to go do it for real. But that's basically where it comes from.
So you love the contact?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you love the contact during the duration of the game. You love hitting guys, but afterwards, you definitely got to put on the ice bags after a while. But I don't ice up after wins. You ice up immediately after losses. You don't ice up after wins. You enjoy those, and I've come to learn that, especially this year.
Especially in your time here, it's been a lot of ups and downs, but it's looking a lot more up so far. Individually, what have you seen change from when you first got here and to where you are now? Individually.
Individually?
Yes.
When the guy who makes the decisions on who gets playing time, who doesn't, when the guy who draws up the defensive schemes, when the guy who calls the shots believes in you and gives you that chance and puts that trust in you to go out and do your job and to be a guy that isn't a captain but is a vocal leader and has things to say. When you're given that trust and you have the opportunity to go out and do it, it's all about the opportunity. And I've just been waiting for the opportunity to go do it individually, but I do it to make my teammates proud. I want my guys who I've gone to war with for the last 4 or 5 years to say, hey, like, this kid can do it, this guy can do it. And I can't say that I've had that for the first 4 years because I really wasn't doing it. So to have Coach Coleman, you know, kind of see me as, hey, like, you're the nose guard, you got to do this every play, or, you know, things could bad happen. If anybody messes up on defense, it's a touchdown. You know, so defense and football is the ultimate team game, and to be a part of that team game and to be trusted and to be given the opportunity is basically the difference.
You bring up leadership, you know, especially at the coaching position, but you yourself, I've seen over the years, have turned into more of a leader on that side of the ball, really passionate about what you do. What do you think that comes from? You know, does it come from the hierarchy that's in place right now, or do you think it's more of an individual's like trait?
It comes from when the confidence from the coaches comes into you, you can kind of build your own confidence and to believe in, hey, I've been in this game for so long and I pay attention to this game and I try to learn this game, not only because to argue about sports with my friends and to know the game, but it's the confidence instilled from the coaches into you that if you pay attention and you take notes, you draw down plays as they're being installed, you watch film, you can see the game slow down. And when you have young guys, we have a sophomore linebacker, a freshman linebacker, another sophomore, and our entire secondary, aside from Jesse, is young guys. You know, it takes the older guys on the field, and I'm not always perfect at it. I mess up and might not always have the best response in body language, but it's the confidence in the older guys to lead by example in a way coaches can't, but it's on the coaches to lead to the mental and to the approach for the older guys to trickle that down. So it's just basically having that trust and confidence in your coaches to tell you the right thing, and then the trust and confidence in yourself to tell the young guys that same thing.
And you take a look, I have been talking about it, Joel, you take a look at, you know, where you were back then and you are now. You know, I talk about all these things, the leadership, the confidence, and especially, you know, to see where you are now, where you have become. I mean, you take a look at that person from back in the day and you look in the mirror now to see that you have all of these accolades and to see that what you're doing is being shown and put on paper. What motivates you to keep doing that and to keep going out every day and to keep showing why you should be on that field?
It's to prove one thing to two groups of people. It's to prove that I knew deep down that this is the caliber of player that I could have been, and that in my heart I believe I should have been, but not for myself and the individualism of it. It's to prove to myself that I can do it and to prove to my teammates I can do it, because when you practice, I don't know how many practices I've been through, but I've been through quite a lot. And when you practice against somebody, you can go up against them and say, oh, that guy is really good. You know, he's hard to get to shed blocks. He has a high motor. He is something that he's good at football. And then translating that to the game field, it's almost two different things. So, you know, translating what I did in practice to the game was always difficult because of maybe not being able to get into a rhythm or seeing the field. But it's what motivates me is to make myself and my teammates proud of the football player I am. And, you know, if you have 11 guys who are proud of their play and who are proud of their teammates' play because everybody's doing their job and everybody has a high motor and everybody's working hard to chase a W, that is when a team gets dangerous. And if you're not proud of yourself and if you're not proud of who you are as a player, then it's going to impact performance. And, you know, you have to be able to put the work in order to get the result you want. So what motivates me is to do it for my teammates and myself to get wins, because football is fun when you win, but when you lose by 40, it is not. You don't have fun. You don't have fun playing when you're down by 40 points. So that's what I'll leave that at.
And speaking of chasing wins, you know, we look at this Westminster team coming into this Saturday. What do you see? Where do you see your guys coming into this one?
You know, you want to come up. You want to come on top. I don't know how many people are picking us to win this game. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter. All I know is the guys that are with me in my locker room know that we can beat any team in this conference. and it starts with Tuesday lift this morning. It continues with practice. It continues with meetings, and when we're going to lock in, we can beat anybody.
Joel, I want to thank you for this opportunity to let me interview you, and that's all the time that we have for this presentation of the Waynesburg University Sports Network and WCTV.